Welcome once again to Stay Alive with Church Alive. And this is your host and president of Church Alive Development Corporation, yes, and the proud pastor and bishop of Church Alive Community Church. And we're here to bring you a holistic approach to the gospel, because God is concerned not only about the spiritual needs, but he's concerned about our physical needs as well. Because when they were hungry, he fed them. And he charged us to be able to meet the needs of the people. And so we believe in bringing you quality information, resources, and services to do just that. We have a special guest with us today, but we have a topic that I feel that it's important for everyone that's watching this program. This first issue came up with an experience that I had. And pastoring the church, bishop over churches, one time I went to the office and I asked them to show me the membership application. And I went through the membership application, and in the area it said, do you have insurance? They said no. And I was amazed at how many people in the church that doesn't have insurance. And I've questioned that with the other pastors, and they have the same problem. And that is a serious problem, because when something happens, the first place that that member goes to or that community person goes to is the church for help. And the finances for funerals is skyrocketing. And so therefore, it could be a tragic expense to the family and the church if you do not have insurance. And so God impressed me that I should have this program to deal with insurance, the need for it for every one of us that are watching this program. And so to help understand exactly the importance of this program, importance of having insurance, the importance of having a quality insurance, and also using the insurance to even benefit you through investment procedures. And so at this time, I would like to introduce my guests, and it's FJ Fine Plan. They're going to clean that up for me when they come on, and they're going to tell you that how Fine Plan can make a difference in your life and to allow you to get the information to probably make the most important living decision that you'll ever make, and that is to have insurance. And so at this time, I would like to introduce to get the mission understanding of this particular corporation, and that is to introduce to you to our own Fatima Roy. She's going to come on and she's going to share with you the mission of this wonderful corporation. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you so much for having us and introducing us to your platform. Here at FJ Fin Plan, our mission exists to deliver comprehensive financial planning through the principles of Christian stewardship, helping families and entrepreneurs build financial structures and manage risks, preserving wealth, and pursuing long-term financial stability and clarity and with purpose. That's why we exist, FJ Fin Plan.
Okay. Well, God is good, and we're going to get a lot of information from you. So just relax and share with our audience. Okay.
No problem.
Yes, Minister Kevin Stewart. Minister Kevin Stewart, I've known for quite a while because he has been my insurance consultant, and he has helped me to navigate through the different policies that I have, and to let me know exactly what I should do and should not do. And so Minister Kevin Stewart is also receiving the Humanitarian Award for his outstanding service over 10 years and making it possible for many needy families to have food on the table. And so I want to thank you. And also you're receiving your award from the Borough President of the Bronx and the City Council of the City of New York. So God has a way of always not rewarding us when we get to heaven. He can reward us when we're right down here. And so I'm thanking God for allowing you to get that recognition. Tell us a little bit about insurance and the areas of which ones are important. What do you have and what you should have?
Well, insurance is important in many areas. I think families avoid the conversation because no one likes thinking about difficult situations and unexpected loss. But the reality is, waiting until a crisis happens usually creates more stress and fewer options. Planning ahead gives families a more peace of mind and helps them make important decisions calmly instead of emotionally. So what we like to do is to just help families figure out a way to plan for the future so that they don't find themselves in a position of uncertainty.
Okay. Is it more than just having a death policy? We can do more than that. Okay. We want to introduce Felix to tell us a little bit about your area of professional, and then we're going to come back to Fatima, and she's going to deal with how we can have our insurances actually work for us while we're living. Felix.
Thank you very much, Bishop. I really appreciate this opportunity to be a part of this conversation. My name is Felix Longden, as you guys have already heard. I've been in this space for over 20 years, actually. I have a background in business administration and financial management. And I believe that, insurance is a very important subject that we cannot really just brush under the rug. So I hope today brings a very good conversation and pretty much enlighten us in some of the areas that I guess we are not aware of.
Okay. Karen Stewart, I know we had a conversation at one time and about the insurance. And I was not aware at that time that you could age out. All right. I've been blessed by God to recently reach the age of 89. And if it wasn't for you, I probably would have lost a lot of my value in the insurance. Tell us about the word aging out.
Yes, well, it's always important for anyone who has a life insurance policy that you review the policy. Some of these policies were taken out many, many years ago, and we don't remember what they said, what they do, how long they last. Our first advice is for you to review your policy. Make sure that it's not a policy that ages out. Ages out means that at a certain age, if you don't pass away at that age, the policy collapses. So if there is a policy of such a type, we can help you to switch it over to one that better suits your need and goes a little bit longer. Yeah, any policy that you have, and if you've had it for a few years, you have to really pay close attention to what it actually does. It may not be doing what you expect it to do, and to wait is to wait and find out that you don't have what you thought you had.
Okay. A lot of people take insurance and they say, well, I can't afford it. Number one, it's a bill. Number two, number three, it's only for rich people that really have insurance because, I just hear on the news how they're, how they're making money. And how can we as the average person turn our insurance into wealth?
Thank you, Bishop, for that question. I think that depends on a few things. But before I get into that, I just want to spend a minute and explain the different types of life insurance there is out there. So first of all, we have term life. And term life is basically designed to give you coverage for a certain number of years. And it's usually, designed to protect families and children and for mortgage responsibilities. The next in the line is whole life, which is also designed to give you coverage for, let's just say, the entire lifetime of the insured, meaning that it's permanent coverage and it covers you for as long as you're living. One of the beauty or the good things about whole life coverage is the fact that sometimes it builds some value that we can also fall on in situations of emergencies. The next in line is universal life, which is more or less like a blend between whole life and term life, and it allows some flexibility in the areas of premium payments and the death benefit adjustment as well. And then I also want to touch on the last component of it, which is final expense. Final expense is typically designed for, preparation pertaining to funeral expenses and also end of life expenses. Now, to the question of which one should a person take depends on, their age, their need, and what their goals are. And basically what it comes down to is basically understand your specific situation. And so when it comes to choosing which option you should go with, that has to be customized based on what the individual's personal needs are.
Very good. I want to go back to Minister Kevin Stewart, in the area of retirement savings, and insurance. There's a difference between the two of those, and also they can be blended together. So could you deal with that? We often hear people focus heavily on retirement savings, but not enough on protecting planning.
Yes, sure.
Why is that prospect just as important?
Yes, well, in retirement, we usually build up assets for our retirement that we can live on. Sometimes when we pass away, though, all that we have can go into what they call probate. And with probate, a lot of things like bank plans, retirement funds, mortgage companies, any creditor can go after your assets. So even though you've built up a lot of income for your retirement, upon your death, the creditors come in and they may attack that retirement. The best thing about life insurance is that it goes to the beneficiary. It cannot go to probate court. So even though your retirement, for maybe unseen reasons, may be attacked by creditors, your life insurance has to and cannot be attacked by creditors. It must go to the beneficiary. So this is a way of safety planning around your family, that the money that you put aside goes directly to them. So retirement and income planning and protection, life insurance is one of the best vehicles to protect that your family will get the money that you put aside and no one else will be able to take from it.
Okay, what about beyond funeral expenses?
Well, that would probably go into legacy planning. So as Felix had said earlier, depending on how you design your plan, you can put together a plan that can build a legacy for generations to come. So you're paying a monthly premium that's very affordable, but at your passing, you may be able to give your family a large sum of money that can create generational wealth. As Felix said earlier, it also depends on what you wanted to do, how much you're able to invest, and what your ultimate goals are. So this is why it's always good to sit down and plan and not just to go after anything that you hear without looking into all other options.
I know there are many cultures that have a legacy where their money goes to building hospitals, or they go towards institution that has been a blessing to their family, or they invested, the money goes to a clinic, or goes to scholarships for young people. Explain that area.
Yes, so you can label whoever you choose to be a beneficiary. For some people, they would like to leave all of their money to the church just because the church has been such a strong institution in their lives and has helped them to overcome many obstacles. Whoever you name as a beneficiary is totally up to the person who takes out the life insurance policy. They have full control over who they decide the money to be left to. There is something, though, that we have to be cautious of, because the insurance company does make it that the beneficiary has to be somebody who is worthy of receiving the money. Like you couldn't, leaving it to your dog and things like that might be a little bit of an issue. So we do want to say that when you're picking up a beneficiary, it has to be an honorable and a good institution or person that did do something or is in line with you and has a connection to you.
Okay. Fatima, I would like to, a lot of people think that insurance is for wealthy people and that, and they get it the wrong way. And some people figure it's paying bills. I don't see what I'm going to get out of it. And whatever I'm going to get out of it, I'll be dead and gone. No, but how could insurance turn around things for you for the living?
So that is a wonderful question, Bishop. With that being said, insurance is not just for wealthy people. If we think about it, most of us are in two-income households. So think about an unexpected loss of one of your incomes now just going away. So think about life insurance as a place of protection, as a place of care for your family, because most people won't be able to survive if that one person, and especially if they're the breadwinner, if that income just happens to fall off. Or if that income just happens to go away, how would they be able to make ends meet? And then on top of that, being able to deal with the fact that they just lost a loved one and being able to navigate those financial burdens that comes up with an unexpected loss, or even if it's a loss that you are planning, just losing that income can basically put a financial hardship on a lot of families. So don't think of it for just wealthy people.
Okay. Felix, the question comes up. Say people between 50 and 80 believe that they either won't qualify or for coverage, or the coverage is too expensive.
Yes, thank you, Bishop, for that question. Actually, that happens to be one of the biggest misconceptions people have when it comes to insurance. And the misconception here is that in many cases, they think it's too late. Others also sometimes think that because of maybe age or health situation, they may not qualify. And because of that, they refuse or they choose not to explore what options they may have. Now, the truth of the matter is that that's not always the case in many cases. Life insurance, as I've already touched on, it's not like a one size fits all for everybody. Granted, yes, you may save some premiums, or it might be a little cheaper when an individual is much younger, which is why the advice is that you take action now than later. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, even if, there is a health challenge, or even if a person is advancing age, you may not qualify for coverage. That's never, ever the case. So I want to basically take today to clear that misconception and make sure that we actually consult or ask questions to see what options are there. Because at FJ FinPlan Consulting, we actually insure people, while advancing, in their age, and in many cases, it's very affordable coverage for them.
Okay, so now we're looking at insurance, and we're looking at it from one perspective. But there's another perspective, and that is investment. That is having insurance turn around and working for you, your money even now. And you give a lot of help at FJ on finances, on financial structure, financial planning. I just want to open up our audience to it that you're not just an insurance service, but you're more than that. Can we get on that, ministers? Anyone of you, just jump in on that.
Felix, you take that one, Felix.
Yes. So one of the things that we do very well at FJ FinPlan is educate our clients.
Right.
So we believe that, I think I want to use the scripture, said, for lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Right.
So we believe that that's really the foundation of every proper planning. And so what we do is, once again, I've kind of like touched on some of the misconceptions people have. Gone are the days where we looked at life insurance as just something to cover for burial and funeral expenses, and that's just the end of the story. But in today's age, it's not like that at all. People are really utilizing life insurance for investment, like Bishop, you touched on, and again, when you think about retirement planning, in your retirement years. We already know Social Security and income at retirement in many cases, it's not even enough. And so people sometimes plan ahead of time using life insurance as a vehicle to make sure that they can supplement their income during their retirement years. There are those also that use it as, generational planning. There are also that utilize life insurance as a legacy to leave something meaningful for a charity or a cause that they believe in. So when it comes to life insurance as an investment vehicle, there are so many things that people can actually utilize that life insurance for. We can talk about, a down payment on a home. We can talk about, let's just say, someone who is getting married and they need funds for, wedding planning and all this other stuff. Like the sky is the limit when it comes to what life insurance can do for an individual or a family. And again, it comes down to being able to plan ahead of time. All these good things that I'm touching on, you won't be able to see that if you don't start the planning early. And just like with all investment, you got to give it time for it to work the way it works best for you.
Mhm.
What is the earliest age for insurance?
I would say age 0.
Exactly. That was a trick. The sooner the better.
Go ahead. All right.
And I would just say the sooner the better. And the reason why I would say that is it brings me to mind one of our clients that we just helped out.
Yeah.
About maybe 3 years ago, he came to us, and this is a young man. He was literally just starting out. I think he came to us when he was like around 18, 19 years old. And he started out a plan that basically for his retirement, and he wanted a tax-free retirement plan. And inside of that plan that he did 3 years ago, in this short period of time, he ended up getting married. Now him and his wife is now expecting a baby, and he used that tax-free retirement plan to actually use for a down payment on his home. So within that short, and it was crazy because he was very skeptical in the beginning to use life insurance as a retirement vehicle. He was very skeptical and all of those things. And once we sat down with him and showed the numbers, within 3 years, like I said, that short period of time, he's been able to protect his family, being able to borrow it for him to take his down payment for his home. And then now his family is growing as far as them now expecting a new baby. So that's just the power as being young and being able to see the value in life insurance. And then I'm pretty sure Felix has a story as far as an older client and being able to roll over their IRAs and using it for those vehicle purposes or investment purposes.
Okay, now we're going to go back to age. What is the earliest age that you should insure your children?
Minister, you want to take that?
Sure, yeah. Well, the younger you are, the least amount it's going to cost. And that's because the younger you are, there's less likelihood that you're going to pass away. So if you can insure a 1-year-old, the premium is going to be relatively low for a high amount. Now, just for instance, say the baby is 1 and you took out $1 million. That's going to be very affordable compared to a person who's 80 taking out for $1 million. So we would always suggest that you take out a life insurance plan for your children at the youngest age possible, because years down the line, that premium will be something that's very easy to manage. So once again, as Shatima said earlier, the earlier, the better.
Fantastic. Fatima, we come to the closing of our program, and we're going to give you this time to reach out to the audience as to your availability and what you would like them to do. Okay. Now we have telephone numbers coming up. We have the emails coming up. All that they're going to get. But what should they think about right now and making that phone call? We have exactly 1 minute.
Well, thank you. What I would encourage everyone at this time that's watching us is basically, let's just have a conversation. I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming, But the first step is you just having a conversation. I would encourage you to pick up the phone, whether you reach out to us via website or over the using our telephone number. We're here to have that conversation. And once we have that conversation, we can help you ease the burden by making an intentional steps and basically making baby steps across the way to figure out what's the best steps for you and your family and the situation that you're in. So we encourage you that if you want more information, if you want to have information about retirement planning, Medicare planning, investment planning, we ask that you reach out to us at the number below and also on the screen, as you can see as well. And with that being said, Bishop, we thank you for your time so much.
I want to thank you, all three of you, for really bringing us quality information. And I feel that there'll probably be another segment coming up one day where we deal with Medicare and do other areas where there are opportunities for people to expand and improve their lifestyle. And right now, in these dark days that we're living in, we need all the value and all the direction, and certainly we need counsel and to make the right decision. So I want to thank this wonderful organization and for coming on Church Alive and bringing us quality information, resources, and services. Thank you so much to all three of you. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
My mom and dad were traditional Asian parents. Now, my father would go to work before I woke up in the morning, and then he would come home too tired to play with me. I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. So I teased him the other day and I said, how come you never say that to me? And he said, you're too old now. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the material things, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious minute or moment.